There's no child on this earth that God has created that anybody deserves to die with a bullet in their head.
He was just 9 years old. The police say he was shot in the head while he was watching TV in the living room with his 15-year-old brother.
My brother's dying right there in my arms, and totally unexpectedly.
Oh, to talk about it, I get very emotional.
Wagwan, everybody. Welcome to our next episode of Talk the Things podcast. And today we're going to be talking about a story coming out of Brampton. This was the next recommended story to me that I seen not too long ago before I started making this video. So let's just get straight into this story. And it happened on Wednesday, January 23rd of 2013. Now, the person that we're going to be talking about in this video, his name is Keyshawn. And he lived with his bro and his mom. And some reports say that just 5 days before the whole incident happened, which would have been the 18th of January 2013, they moved from Hamilton to Brampton. So they lived in a townhouse on, I believe it's pronounced Ardglen Drive. I don't know. And what happened a few days just after they ended up moving here, moving here was probably the worst decision that they ever made. So now on the evening of January 23rd, 2013, the 15-year-old, his bro, right, and Keyshawn was just playing Call of Duty. They're in the living room just, playing video game, doing whatever you do in the evening time. When the 15-year-old thought that his bro got electrocuted, like he got shocked because his bro just winded up, he heard a pop, right? And it said that his bro just winded up falling on his face. Turns out somebody from the outside winded up shooting into the house and shot Keyshawn, the 9-year-old little boy, in his head, causing him to die. Now, could you imagine how the bro felt when such thing happened? Like, he didn't even realize, because he would never think like something like that would happen. You know what I mean? You're just playing video game with your bro, and a man shoot from outside, come right through the living room window and hit your bro in his head, and now your bro. So imagine what he had to see. Imagine the trauma that he has to go through now. I want to play you guys a news clip. I'm going to play you guys two news clips because this case ended up coming up. I just seen an article printed 2 days ago, so it's still being talked about. And I'm going to play you guys an updated news clip version and an original one from when it just happened. And then I'll be right back with more info about this whole situation.
Yes, we begin tonight with the story of another Canadian child shot and killed in his own home. It happened in Brampton, Ontario. His name is Keyshawn Williams. He was just 9 years old. The police say he was shot in the head while he was watching TV in the living room with his 15-year-old brother. Jennifer Tryon joins us now from outside the boys' home in Brampton. Jen?
Hi, Donna. Well, imagine this is the third time in 2 weeks that a young person has been shot and killed with a gun in Canada. And what is so disturbing and confusing in this case is that police say the shooting was targeted, but no one can fathom how a little boy could be the intended victim. 9-year-old Keyshawn Williams was the new kid at school this year. Imagine the shock to his grade 4 classmates when their new friend didn't show up today.
Officers arrived and found a young child who'd been shot while inside his home.
The boy was watching TV in his living room just after 10:30 last night when he was shot in the back of the head.
Like, this is absolutely crazy. I just can't believe it,
There's no child on this earth that God has created that anybody deserves to die with a bullet in their head. None. An innocent child.
This is him at daycare.
It's been 7 years, but Tanya Garvey still feels the pain like it was yesterday.
He was sweet, loving, kind, compassionate.
Garvey's 9-year-old son, Keyshawn Williams, was shot and killed in January of 2013. The fatal bullet came flying through their living room window while the 4th grader was playing video games with his then 15-year-old brother.
He fell face first. I didn't really know what happened. I just heard a shock, like I heard a pop, and I didn't think my brother just got shot. My brother's dying right there in my arms, and totally unexpectedly.
Peel police confirmed the young boys weren't targeted, but the house likely was. The family had just moved from Hamilton 5 days before. 7 years on, the tragedy has left a lasting impact on Keyshawn's brother and mother.
I can't even sit in front of my window without feeling scared.
Mother and son refused to return to their blood-stained home, which they say had been robbed in their absence. Garvey, unable to return to work as a personal support worker, stayed in a shelter with her son, homeless for 4 years while on a waiting list for housing. The pair remain tormented by unanswered questions and say they feel forgotten by Peel police.
My brother was shot in his head, in his home, in his living room, as if he was assassinated. They just treat it like it's nothing, like to just push it under the rug. And me and my mom, they expect us to just pick up the pieces and keep moving.
In 2016, it was revealed that a gun connected to the murder of a Toronto man killed the same year as Keyshawn was the same weapon used in the young boy's killing. But no arrests have been made in either case. Now 21, Keyshawn says he's still traumatized by the way Peel police dealt with him that night. He was taken in for questioning, barred from accompanying his baby brother to hospital.
As they're putting me to the car, I'm like begging them, please, like, let me go with my brother. Like, you know, he's dying. He needs to be with at least me. He's probably scared, you know. I still cry every night because I can't sleep with my brother.
Peel police have defended their actions as standard practice. As for Tanya Garvey, she lives with a hole in her heart and hopes someone will hear her plea and do the right thing.
I'm praying to God that somebody out there, somebody will talk the truth, that my son can rest in peace.
All right, you guys just heard that. Now, turns out the house was targeted. Not necessarily the 9-year-old Keyshawn that passed away, or his bro, or his Dukes. But you guys have to remember, like I said in the beginning of the podcast, they just moved there 5 days ago. So who knows who was living there before and what them did they deal with or whatever they had going on, you know what I mean? But it looked like the house was targeted, that the people them knew, you know, who lived there before and had problems with them and never knew that they moved, that there was a whole new family living in the house. I don't know if this was a housing house, right? Or if it was just regular market rent. But one thing with housing, because a lot of people might say, well, doesn't a house sit empty for a little bit? And they could have realized if they're planning out the house that people don't live there and the news that the people moved in. Not necessarily. When housing, bro, when, like, say you move out Monday and you live in a housing complex, you're gonna have new neighbor by Friday. Sometimes all by Wednesday, because with housing, they take you out and they fling you back in. They fling new people in quick. Everybody's on a waiting list for like 15 years, so they don't play. Whenever the opportunity come, they move them straight in. So, like I said, I don't know if that was the case in this situation, but we know that they moved there just 5 days before. So we don't know how long ago the house was empty. We don't know if the people them who did this even knew that the people that lived there before who they were targeting moved. You know what I mean? But a year later, in 2014, they ended up putting out surveillance footage and you know, capturing what happened in the moment. So I want to play you guys that, and I'll be right back. All right, so you guys just seen that. Now, also, they were saying that the same gun that used to kill the little boy, the 9-year-old, was the same gun that was used to kill a person. I think they said like that same year or something like that. You guys heard it in the news clip. I don't remember. I'm doing this pre-post, but you know, it shows that it was a whole bunch of connections with the situation, but they still don't have nobody. There's nothing that happened with the case. I think they called it a cold case. I think that's what you call them, one just nothing going, when it just, you know, they can't find nobody and it's just that. His funeral ended up taking place in Hamilton, because I believe that's where they were from. We know that's where they lived, so I think that's where they were from, and they wound up going back there to have the funeral with about 800 plus people that filled up that church. The funeral lasted for hours, about 3 hours, because of the outpour from the community and the support that they were getting from the schools that he went to, and all this, the whole community came out. So I want to play you guys the next news clip so you guys can get the vibes of that, and then I'll be right back with my final thoughts.
When the boy's casket hit the cold air, the procession was somber and silent. More than 800 people packed into this Hamilton, Ontario church, a chilling testament to how shocked and horrified the family and friends of 9-year-old Keyshawn Williams still are.
Oh, to talk about it, I get very emotional.
But talk is what seemed to help heal inside. The funeral lasted nearly 3 hours as mourners took to the pulpit themselves and began sharing Keyshawn's stories.
He just always had a smile on his face, and he liked to dance a lot, and he had a little Keyshawn dance.
I remember when they used to be at the hall playing. It's very sad. It's extremely sad.
Last Thursday, Kashawn was shot in the back of the head while watching TV in his Brampton, Ontario living room. His family had only moved into that house a week before, leaving police questioning whether the bullet was meant for the former occupants. His 15-year-old brother was in the living room with him. So emotional today, mourners say he could hardly speak.
You could hardly hear what he was saying. He was so choked up. He loved his brother, and that's the message that he wanted.
All right, so you guys just heard that. Now, my final thoughts on this whole situation is just how fucked up it is and how bad I feel for the bro. Something like this can happen to anybody, and especially like it's like fuck, bro. What can I don't even know. Like this is just it just sucks that shit like this has to happen. You know what I mean? We don't know what the beef was going on, and we don't even care about that because the youth was a local boy. He was an innocent local boy. Never had nothing to do with no street life or nothing like that. But look what happened same way. And I don't know if this is a bad area in Brampton. Brampton, for the most part, is okay. We all know Brampton has its mandem and had its crime or whatever. But for the most part, Brampton's okay. Brampton has majority better areas than bad. So I don't know if this was a bad area. I don't know. You know what I mean? You guys let me know in the comments section. But I just have to say rest in peace to the local boy. And I feel bad for his mom and the bro that had to sit there and watch that. You just watched the bro get shot in his head beside you. Imagine what you had to see. Imagine what you had to hear when you realized, say, wow, go on. Then they said that the police was roughing him up and carry him to station. Like, bro, how do you even go home and go sleep after that? You know what I mean? It just sucks for them. But I, pray that all is well and that, they're doing okay. But you guys let me know what you think about the situation down below. And we'll talk next time on Talk the Things podcast.